Hey YouTube, League Turnover, Little Jungle Cup, and this is going to be freaking wild. So Little Jungle Cup is a 500 CP league, so baby version. Pokemon do not need to be able to evolve to enter. So you're going to get a mixture of Pokemon that are like first evolution or in their evolved form. So it could be a lot of Pokemon. And then I was looking at typings like normal, grass, electric, poison, ground, flying, dark, and bug. It's like, isn't that like all the typings? So essentially, I think that's like 8 of the 10 typings or whatever there is. So the amount of Pokemon in this cup is almost infinite, which makes it very difficult for rankings and putting teams together. So if you look at this list, it's quite all over the place, right? You have, let's just start with the staples of previous cups, because I think a lot of people will have these Pokemon and will have people use these Pokemon. Ducklet is always number 1. Wing attack buff for the Brave Bird and Bull Beam Bait is always so super strong. Scroopy as, so let's just start with Cottony, because Cottony was one of the biggest ones before as your main charmer. Scroopy as a poison to deal with the charmer, and plus just poison sting, Aqua Tail, Sludge Bomb is very, very spammy. Stunky to a little extent as well, like that's just kind of like it's running bite, but sort of your poison dark answer. Swinub's on this list as your main ice Pokemon, and Shelmet was on this list as your main bug Pokemon. So those were already sort of what people had for previous Little Cup Pokemon, and Wooper at 18 I just saw as your main ground answer to any sort of steals. So those are your main baby Pokemon that everyone should have. So I would not be surprised to see if you have some combo of those that you're gonna see on teams. The problem is now getting into all these other Pokemon, the evolution Pokemon that people could have, but may not have. But if they do have it, you got to start thinking about them, right? So Galarian Stunfisk is obviously one of the best answers to Ducklet. Just again, look at everything that I just named on this list. Ducklet, weak to rock. Scroopy, poison sting is going to be resisted by the steel. Cottony, charm resisted by the steel. Shelmet, infestation resisted by the steel. So that's why steels are so high on this list, because a lot of the main things of the bait Pokemon before are resisted by steel. So Stunfisk and Steelix high up there, because it resists so many of the core of before. Altaria is just, you're getting the sort of Dragon Breath damage, right? Why Cottony is always so high on this list is because of the charm damage. Dragon Breath damage in a baby cup adds up real quick. I would not be surprised if those of you who not played baby cup before, I keep on a baby cup, little cup, everything hurts. So your fast move damage does a lot of damage, and even like neutral body slams do over 50% damage. So you cannot really take two moves. So you could get a mixture of all fast move team just going for super fast move damage. You can get totally opposite spammy, just gonna spam body slams and aqua tails and just quick fast move, charge move damage teams. You get a mix, and that's what makes this cup so tricky. So same thing with like Dragonite on this list because your fast move damage. Togekiss on this list because of charm move damage. You have Scrafty and Double as your sort of double kick counter users, right? Fighting users to deal with all these steals and stuff you're going to see. And then you have Golbat as a flying and poison to resist the fairy. Prior as looking like your main fire to resist fairy as well. So it's a mix. You really don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. So I got some teams together just based on like some stuff people may have and just teams that would work. But it really comes down to what your opponent has built or does not have built. We're 4 weeks left in the season. So if people have already hit legend, they may just go with whatever they have, right? Just there's no point of investing dust if you have Ducklet and Cottony and Wooper and all these other Pokemon that from past cups. If you are still grinding and you have a low Stunfisk that you can build up for this, that you can maybe turn into one later for Great League, or same with Steelix. If you can build one up now, Altaria, same, all these Pokemon that are strong in Great League Open, or you can just kind of build one up. You again, it's not a ton of a dust investment to only get to 500 CP, right? It will really come down. It will just come down to, do you have the Pokemon? Do you have the Pokemon? And it's a question mark, and I don't know. I can't guess that. What I can do is just kind of build teams based on a mixture of what people have, what people don't have, stuff like that. Or not don't have, but may not have, stuff like that. So I just started with Ducklet. What can you say about Ducklet, right? This thing has been dominating. I don't see Bronzer on here anywhere, right? Which was the main answer for Ducklet before. So I'm guessing Bronzer is not allowed in this list. I'm guessing Steel was not. Let me just bring up this. I'm guessing Steel was not on the initial list. It is not, right? So Steel is not on the initial list. So you're not going to see any hard answers to Ducklet. Your main ones are going to be the either half Steel that also have ground like Galarian Stunfisk. I was going to say like rock type Pokemon too, but few and far between. Steel, Skarmory looks like it because it's half flying. So anything with a half typing a Steel, that will do well against you. But otherwise, Ducklet's just going to go unchecked because it's so strong. I expect many people to run it, right? So if you're going to be weak to the sort of other Steels that are there, I'm going to put Wooper in. And then if you're going to be weak to sort of the flying Steel, I'm going to put in Swinub. 3 Pokemon that everyone should have. Not everyone should have, but a lot of people will have. Vast coverage. Ducklet is still should be everywhere because you have a buffed wing attack and you have no pure Steels in this. So your biggest answer is not here. Then I started getting a little like, okay, what else is there? Let's start with Scroopy. People have Scroopy. Again, it's one of those Pokemon where just like the Poison Sting and the Aqua Tail so spammy. Sludge will nuke a lot of stuff too. So it's just a very, very strong Pokemon there. Again, with the Poison type fast move, you're going to have problems against anything like Steel, Stunfisk, Skarmory, stuff like that. So I put in Stunfisk, the electric version, to deal with all that, right? So you have a Mud and electric combo. I think that's very, very strong in this meta. And then I needed a third that's kind of safe, kind of deals with everything. And a Bomb Snow is a recommendation, right? You are double weak to fire. I don't expect a ton of fire in this. You can do okay against Ducklet. You can do okay against Fairies. You can do okay against everything. You can just kind of do okay against everything with the Bomb Snow, right? Because it's just so spammy with the Powder Snow Weather Balls. So that's anything that's like spammy in this meta is always going to do okay. So if you're thinking about what to run and you can't think of anything else, just look at stuff that is just generally 4 or 5 fast moves spam to a Body Slam or Weather Ball or something neutral like that. I put in an ABB style team. I don't think you're going to see this because there are a lot of answers to Fairies in the few Steels that you see in Stunfisk and stuff like that, plus all the poisons, Golbat and Scroopy, and I'm sure there's others too. You may see an ABB double Fairy team, right? So lead Stunfisk, draw out one of those things with Wigglytuff or Cottony. I think Wigglytuff is probably better because you at least have other moves like Ice Beam and stuff like that you can at least throw in neutral situations, plus a quicker disarming voice bait. Punishment Stunfisk, Cottony roams free. You may see it. I don't expect you to because who knows what you're going to see, but it's an option. I just think that's a pretty limited option. Quite honestly, I'm almost rather go with like double Dragon and stuff like that instead of double Fairy. This one was a double Steel, double Flyer team. So Altaria as your main flyer, your only real weakness is going to be the Fairies. So you have 2 Steels in the back to deal with that. Skarmory and Excadrill. So Skarmory is just generally pretty safe in this meta, just because of its unique typing. And you're not going to get too walled by many things. You may get walled by 1 or 2 things here and there, but generally safe. Excadrill is a little more glassy. Again, there's some fires, there's some grounds, there's some fighting, so you have a few more weaknesses. Skarmory's duo typing makes it sort of more neutral to things, whereas Excadrill's duo typing makes it more vulnerable to things, which is the only sort of problem. This team is like a mixture of like spamminess with extra drill, but also like fast move damage with Altaria, and Skarm is kind of neutral in both, right? So you test it out if you got. Again, I have no idea what Pokemon people will have. I just put Ducklet back in again because it's super strong. So it's a double flyer team, Golbat as well as Ducklet, and then Scrafty to deal with the steals, right? So you'd probably lead Scrafty, pull out a steal or something with Ducklet, punish it with Scrafty, and then your Golbat would roam free in the back. That's how I would play this team. That's it. I don't know. There is Ultra League on as well. So if you want to play Ultra League, you can play Ultra League. Not that I worry it's just going to be a Ducklet plus 2 Pokemon, but it's going to be a Ducklet plus 2 Pokemon, in my opinion, just because how strong it is, and there's no super, super hard punish to Ducklet in this meta right now. So I think if you have Ducklet, it just makes sense to run it plus 2 others. What those 2 others are, whatever you want. You can try, if you think Ducklet is going to be everywhere, you can try running your hardest 2 answers to Ducklet. So maybe something like if you have a Stunfisk or another Steel, so Ducklet plus a Steel in like Skarmory, Onix, Stunfisk, plus a third. Like that's a very balanced team plus a third. So that is probably something that a lot of people will run. You got a lot of spammy safe swaps. You got just a lot of again fast move damage, which does a lot in a meta which is just very, very classy, or spam Pokemon which do over 50% with their usually or 50% with their charge moves. So that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you plan on running. Like I said, if you're actually trying to grind, I think Ducklet plus a Steel, Stunfisk, Onix. Maybe not Onix because Onix has a Rock Throw, so it would still be tough against the... And Skarmory does too. So that's why I think Stunfisk is the best, and that's why I think Stunfisk and Ducklet are number 1 and 2, because I just think they work so well together. So I would not be surprised if you see those 2 plus a third. If you want to grind, quite honestly, that's my opinion. Just go Ducklet, Stunfisk, and a third, because I think it's just the safest. So if you made it to the end, you got what I think is going to be the best team. That is it. Let me know in the comments below what you are going to plan on running. If there's something that like completely left field that I've missed. Are you going to do a full fast damage team? Are you going to do spammy? Are you going to do mix? Are you going to do balance? Are you going to do ABB? Are you going to do all 3 of the same typings? Like triple Steel, Stunfisk, Skarmory, Onix? Who knows? Who knows what you can do? Anything, realistically. Who knows what will work and what won't work yet? That's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.